Welcome to part 2 of our interview with Dr. Maya Angelou. Indeed, she is one of the most renowned and influential voices filled with legendary wisdom. Listen in as she gives advice to students about the importance of education and the relevance of HBCUs. And Dr. Angelou, I have one question for you that I wanted to ask you on behalf of Nezile Mtembo, who's the senior class president of Bennett College. Very bright South African girl, reminded me of myself having come to America as an international student. You've been quoted as saying that we allow ignorance to prevail upon us and make us think that we can survive alone. Alone in patches, alone in groups, alone in races, even alone in genders. Given the effort to diversify the institutions in America, including the Ivy League schools, many people are starting to say that HBCUs have become irrelevant. Can you share your opinion on that with us, please?
Not only are they not irrelevant, the HBCUs are now more important than ever. The only time they were as important would have been maybe in the 1890s, 1880s, for instance, when Tuskegee was founded, and Hampton in Washington, well, in Virginia actually, but near to Washington D.C. So many young black men and black women finished high schools in the North or the West or the Northeast, and they have almost no knowledge of the history of their people. It is amazing. So that they know of Malcolm X, and they know of Martin Luther King. But what they really did, what they accomplished, what these men and women, from Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth and Fannie Lou Hamer, and Betty Shabazz, what they really accomplished, very few young black men and women in the North know, because they're not in their textbooks. In the South, however, at the HBCUs, some of those women have come out of those schools. So there are portraits of them. Some of those men, there are portraits of them at Morehouse and at Bennett and at Benedict. They're there at Spelman and at Tuskegee. They're there at Fisk. So you walk in the halls and there are photographs of people who look like your grandfather. This gives you a leg up, because when a black girl and a white girl go into a school, equally bright or equally slow, if they go into a school in the North, when they go in, the white girl looks around and the portraits on the walls look just like her grandfather and her grandmother. The black girl looks around and nobody looks like her. And when they start school by the first and second and third grades, the black girl says, I'm not in this. That Mary and Tom, Dick and Jane, they're all white. However, at the HBCU, if they've gone to school in the South, they've probably gone to a mostly black school. They've learned Paul Laurence Dunbar, James Weldon Johnson. They've learned that lift every voice and sing. They start off their concerts. They start off their gatherings. They start off their meetings with lift every voice and sing. Now, knowing that, and then the student learns that, oh my goodness, this was written by James Weldon Johnson. And the music was written by his brother, Rosamond Johnson. My goodness, you see? So that gives you something. My grandmother used to call it, you have starch in your backbone. Makes you stand erect.
Yes, pride. Yes, indeed.
Also, let me add to this, yes, for the young men and women, at the HBCUs, yes, you will meet people with whom you will make friendship. And some of them you will know for the next 50 years. Some of them will have daughters or sons who will marry your daughter or your son. Some of them will finish and do medicine, and they will be able to give service to your grandmother, to your uncle, to you. So the friends you make are not people who then will move back to their areas and you'll never see them again. It's very important, and I encourage everybody to get their first degree from a black school, college or university.
They're hearing you loud and clear. They're hearing you loud and clear. What one piece of advice would you give today's diverse student population about getting an education?
I would remind all students of a statement made by Terence. The statement is, Homo sum, humani nihil me alienum puto. I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. The statement is incredible. If you can ingest that, then you can understand why the global scene is a variety. And you have to know that. And you have to know that that statement was made by Terence. When you look in the encyclopedia under Terence with one R, you will see in italics Terentius Afer. He was an African, a slave, sold to a Roman senator. He was freed by that senator and became the most popular playwright in Rome. 5 of his plays in that one statement have come down to us from 154 BC. This man not born white, not born free, or with any chance of achieving the Rome citizenship in the Rome into which he was enslaved. This man. So if you can see that, you can see then that the work of Lao Tzu, the work of Madame Curie, the work of Kwame Nkrumah, the work of Fannie Lou Hamer, the work of President Obama, these Mao Zedong, all of that belongs to you. If you really can relax and accept that, you can find languages easier to learn because a human being used that language. And so it wasn't used by an alligator or a flea. It was a human being who created that language. Now it may sound a bit different because of the physiological makeup. So because lips are finer, thinner, and others are finer and thicker, the sound may be different. The sound from a South African language, Xhosa, is different. I mean, and you can learn it. Human beings say it. They say, so they can speak it. But when you speak that, then you should be able to speak French and Spanish. Why not? Human beings use those languages. And that's true of all the information, which should make you a better student. Because when you're going into mathematics, you have to say, well, so they say I'm not good at mathematics. But wait a minute, Pythagoras was a human being, just like me. Okie dokie, I can try, you see?
We can all try.
We can all try, and we must try more.